Hello, welcome back to the Jet Press Podcast. My name is Justin Fried, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Mike Luciano. Mike, it is December already, which is kind of crazy to me. I don't want to be that guy that's like, well, it was just January a few months ago, but it does feel that way. I know we talked on Sunday, but it's holiday season a little bit. How's your Thanksgiving, buddy? How you doing?
Thanksgiving was very nice. I got to, for the second time, meet my new cousin, who is now 1 month old. So 1 month old, 6 weeks old. I was getting weeks and months confused.
Well, that's 1 month.
Yeah. I guess she was supposed to be born like a week ago, and she was born 6 weeks ago.
Are they watching? Are they watching right now?
Noelle, I'm not sure if Noelle is watching, but her dad Steve might be. So in the case that please don't put it. I know they tell you like listen to Mozart when you get a baby. Like that's probably better than the Jet Press podcast. But if you're fully grown, me and Justin Fried are here. Austrian Jet is here too with 10 memberships and a Glenn Up message because he remains the man.
What a guy. I was going to say,
remember because of you. I appreciate you. We appreciate everybody who tunes in, even the new member. Now Mr. Mule instead of Mr. Donkey. So
Mr. Mule.
Things are changing around.
That means that Mr. Mule went in and manually changed that, but instead of changing it to an actual name that he wanted it to be, he went in and changed it to Mr. Mule, which I have to respect that.
Yeah. 829, which is my birthday, August 29th. So maybe that's a reference to me. Anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely a
We'll get into some stuff with the Jets and some stuff that is tangentially Jets related that we kind of have to talk about, not in a victory lap sense, but more in a item of interest sense.
Sure.
We'll get to that first. You guys know him well from the last couple of years. Before that, you know where to find us: Apple, Google, Spotify, Overcast, wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. Liking the stream, big help to get us up there. Subscribing, big help to get us up there. Hyping the video, possibly to get us up there. One thing, too, if you see the titles change a little bit, YouTube made a little bit of a live stream algorithm-y change. So trying to like truncate them a little bit to gain the system to get a little bit up there in the algorithm. So if you see that, that's what that is, because we want more Jets fans to go and join the parade of members that we have with the Jet Press podcast. Let's start not with the Jets, with a former Jet. And we don't want to spend too long on this guy, especially because 2 months ago, I believe I put a moratorium on this guy's name. But the moratorium has been broken because he, for the first time this year, was really a huge interest item in the NFL season. Like, he did not have the same level of hype coming in that he normally does. But let's just talk about him. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
The Steelers are 6-6, which, granted, they're right in the thick of a playoff spot. They may end up hosting a home playoff game if they end up beating a very bipolar Baltimore Ravens team, if they end up winning a very wide-open AFC North. I get all that. And Rodgers, once again, has pretty good box score statistics, the touchdowns to interception ratio, because he's a football wizard in terms of just intelligence and how to rip up a defense. But I do want to take a little bit of a victory lap, a little bit of mea culpa too, and a little bit of victory lap, because of the two guys on this podcast, Justin from the jump was very against Aaron Rodgers coming back. I was more in the bring him back camp, but when I saw how hard they were pivoting into a rebuild, I'm like, okay, this isn't really tenable.
No.
But there were still very recently people who were saying the Jets didn't bring back Rodgers. What are they doing? They don't know. Making fun of Aaron Glenn, making fun of Darren Muji. You still making fun of them?
And might I just add, this is not like a Zach Wilson thing where it's a very clear, common thing in common with these people. There's some people that I respect, like some very notable people that have been very pro Rodgers on this discussion. It still boggles my mind how in December of 2025, anybody could still have that take.
In big 2025, because again, he's not playing awfully, but he's playing kind of what we thought the worst case scenario would look like.
He's what he was last year with the Jets. Like, it's virtually the same caliber of quarterback.
Well, he has a good enough offensive line. Yeah. Like, it's not great. It's average, I think is fair. Maybe the best tight end room in the league. Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, Jonnu Smith.
It's good. It's very deep. A lot of depth.
DK Metcalf, great receiver. The receiver depth isn't great, but DK Metcalf should be able to work with that. And what are we seeing in a year where that could end the Mike Tomlin always has a winning season streak? We're seeing him getting mad at teammates for not running the right routes. I guess Jonnu Smith is the new Mike Williams red line guy. We're seeing the fact he just can't move, and he knows it now. With the Jets, I think for a while, he kind of thought he moved a little bit. He had some big runs with the Jets, but he he didn't really know how quick he was declining. I think now he knows I can't move at all. He's getting the ball out so quick that routes can't develop. It's literally get it, look, boom. It's like we're watching air raid in college where the guy just doesn't hold the ball because he doesn't trust himself to hold the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Signing, as Jeff put out, washed up vets like Adam Thielen.
Will Adam Thielen help Rodgers out the rest of the way? No, probably not.
He's not throwing to the middle of the field. It's going, I don't want to say as poorly as possible because probably 2024 with the Jets was as poorly as possible. But,
well, I will raise you 2023.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, but the thing, though, is I want to go and look at the segment of Jetsdom who would have been okay looking at a $70 million dead cap hit or close to it for this level of quarterback play, for the same level of, this is going to maybe be the wrong word, but petulance. Because petulance is normally a childlike trait, but
yeah,
it's a 42-year-old man doing petulant things.
Oldest player in the NFL.
For a guy who would be on a team with a bunch of kids who would probably stunt their development. Oh my God, imagine if Adonai Mitchell started dropping those passes with Aaron Rodgers. He might never throw him the ball again.
He'd be in Arian Smith territory. He wouldn't be playing.
He just wouldn't be playing.
Alan Lazard would be, though. I'll tell you that.
And what would the Jets get out of it? Maybe 2 more wins.
Mm-hmm.
They would probably have won the Denver game, and they probably would have won the Carolina game. And then maybe Tampa, who knows? Probably not, but maybe. So to get 2 extra wins in a year that, as corny as it sounds, is all about culture setting, foundation setting, showing that this staff can build a winner, you want to go throw all that out and delay that for a year or possibly ruin it to the point where it can never really get started because Rodgers just napalms everything once he leaves. You would have wanted to do that for 2 more wins this year. And then still bitch and moan you don't have a quarterback in a weak class. You regretting those takes?
Yeah. I imagine some of those people, too, are also like pro tank, where it's like, oh, you want a higher pick, but you also want to win an extra 1 or 2 games because Rodgers is your quarterback. When even harder, it's going to get even harder to replace him. A couple of stats that I thought were very interesting and telling about how Rodgers has performed this season. And you sent me one of these, Mike. This is Ben Solak picked this one out. 66.4% of Rodgers' passing yards this season have come after the catch. That is second only to 2011 A.J. Feely in the past 15 years. That is
A.J. Feely.
That is 713 quarterbacking seasons worth of a sample size there. That is remarkable. 66%.
A.J. Feely and his 28 career touchdown passes.
Yeah. 66%.
Did you say 2011 A.J. Feely?
2011 A.J. Feely.
He started 3 games that year, by the way.
What team was he on in 2011?
The
Cardinals?
Abomination, unwatchable,
2-14
St. Louis Rams.
It was the Rams.
When they had Steve Spagnuolo was the coach.
That's right. Yeah, it's bad. It's amazing. And then another one that I saw, and it's kind of in the same vein here. The Steelers have not completed a downfield pass in over 40 days at the time of recording, or close to 40 days. They are 0 for their last 13 on passes over 20 yards with 3 interceptions in their last 5 games on passes over 20 yards.
Aaron Rodgers, I mean, the deep ball maestro in Green Bay.
The entire offense is just short underneath stuff and relying on yak. Like that is their passing offense right now.
If Rodgers doesn't pre-snap figure out where he can get a little window to throw a yak, they don't have a passing offense.
They don't. It honestly, it feels a little similar to last year where you look at Rodgers' stats at the end of the year and you're like, oh, he was pretty solid. You watch the games and you're like, there were very clear limitations with him as a quarterback, and they're popping up again in Pittsburgh. And that is just on-field performance, right? I think Rodgers has been maybe the 21st-ish best quarterback in the NFL this year.
Better than Tyrod Taylor, and better than Justin Fields.
Correct. And that was the argument from these people that were pro Rodgers was, why would you downgrade from Aaron Rodgers to Justin Fields? Well, again, it was never about upgrading over Rodgers immediately, because doing that instantly in one offseason was always going to be challenging given the options that the Jets had. That wasn't necessarily the point. The point was all of the baggage associated with bringing Rodgers back a year. And I'm not just talking about the emotional culture stuff. I'm talking about financial. They would have had to take on significantly more dead cap to bring him back another year. I repeated the numbers we broke down for months ahead of time. So that was part of it too. And now you see the cracks forming in the foundation there. And look, man, I made the mistake of tweeting about Aaron Rodgers the other day, and I realized again immediately after doing that why I don't tweet about Aaron Rodgers, because it is just a nuclear bomb setting off on my timeline when I do that. But man, I just there's all the other culture stuff, right? Where it's like, if Rodgers was in Florham Park right now, what do you think the vibe in that locker room is, right? Because right now I would say the Jets vibe is pretty good. They're 3-2 in their last 5. Things are going well. If they started their season 0-7 or even like 1-6, right, with Rodgers, how bad do you think things would be right now? Because if
New
you're bringing back
coach,
Rodgers,
oh my God.
because if you're bringing back Rodgers, the expectation is you're still competing that year. Like if the Jets brought back Rodgers, they wouldn't have been trying. They would have been trying to make the playoffs this year, which, you know, they could say whatever they want. That clearly wasn't the goal going into this season. I can't imagine where this organization would be right now if they did decide to bring back Aaron Rodgers, which is why to me it was never even a consideration. You're bringing in a new head coach, you're bringing in a new general manager, reset everything. You're clearly not going to compete next year. Don't put yourself further in cap hell. Don't wreck your finances even more to bring back a 42-year-old quarterback who's clearly on the decline just so you can maybe win 7 games next year. It never made any sense to me. It was always nonsensical at the time, and it looks even more nonsensical with the benefit of hindsight.
Brian Sternbeck, 4 straight years of complaining about accountability with 3 different teams. I wonder what the common denominator is.
Yeah.
And when you're playing like an MVP, as he did in Green Bay, not only does nobody care, people may even encourage it. When you play like this, which is like Tua Tagovailoa, Daniel Jones levels of quarterback play, then people start caring about it.
And look, I know Rodgers isn't the issue in Pittsburgh. The defense sucks.
I just think the timing is funny because
it is. The defense is terrible. Like that. If you ask any Steelers fan, they'll be the first to tell you that. There's also a lot of Mike Tomlin hate, which, to be fair, Steelers fans have hated Mike Tomlin for years, so it's hard to take that opinion seriously. But I do think there are valid criticisms with Tomlin, and you could point to certain things where, you know, maybe the locker room hasn't been amazing the last few years. When I tweeted out something, it was like something along the lines of like, oh, Aaron Rodgers goes into the single most stable and competent or competitive, whatever, consistent football culture in the NFL.
The team has had 3 head coaches since 1969.
And within 3 months, he blows it up, right? It was something along those lines, right? And that was a little tongue-in-cheek because, this isn't the first time we've seen this stuff in Pittsburgh. Minkah Fitzpatrick had some blow-ups last year. Like, there have been cracks forming in the foundation.
How many of those 9-8 teams were 4-13 teams that Tomlin just sheer tyranny of will
they won,
got to 9-8.
They won 8 or 9 games with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph starting. Like the team consistently overachieves, and I think there's an argument to be made that maybe it's time for the Steelers and Tomlin to part ways because maybe you could argue, voice has gotten stale, whatever. I think he's an awesome coach, obviously, but all of that aside, you cannot tell me that Rodgers has gone in there and done good things for the organization because he has not. I think he's made things worse. I think he's compounded not just by his performance on the field, but by the mope that he brings off the field, like the consistent throwing guys under the bus. And like we saw it this week where there's just a way to handle these things where, maybe Jonnu Smith does run the wrong route there. Okay, that's an internal thing you handle. That's a thing you talk about in meetings. That's a thing you talk to Jonnu Smith about. That's not a thing that you tell people at a press conference about. Because it comes across bad when you're the leader of the team, supposed leader of the team. You're the Hall of Famer. You're a 42-year-old quarterback, and you're over here saying, look, man, we all have to be better. But you know who really has to be better? Jonnu Smith, because he really fucked up. That's a really bad look.
It reminds me of, for those that don't know, I actually just bought a car for the first time in my life. So,
hey, congrats.
I got a Volkswagen Tiguan is what I went with.
What year?
Well, I had an old CRV. I was looking for either the Mazda CX-5 or the Tiguan because, I just want that sort of crossover vehicle. And I'm looking at, like, there's always the whole thing car buying where, not that they sold him a lemon. I'm not saying that we sold him a lemon.
Well, they didn't sell him anything. They just let him go.
It's one of those. When we were talking to Steelers fans, we had Tommy Jagai still curtain on as a great guy, a great Steelers analyst. Like, we were saying, by the way, there's some really weird stuff that's probably going to happen. And I'm not saying that he and other guys were like, oh, no, like, it's just the Jets. I mean, I get why some people thought, oh, it's just the Jets, but like some stuff you can't run away from. You can't run away from the mobility. You can't run away from personality traits that this guy's had his whole life. You can't run away from things like that. And if the Steelers are 10-2 right now, nobody cares, but they're 6-6 and people care. Mr. Mule coming out with, would you guys, if for some reason Aaron Glenn gets fired soon, which is not going to happen, hypothetically,
sure,
would you guys take Mike Tomlin?
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Sometimes it's just time to go in a certain spot. Like sometimes, like you see all these great college coaches, they end up their careers with a bunch of 7-5, 8-4, or college basketball too. Jim Boeheim at the end. Like sometimes it's just time to go. I think it just might be time to go for him.
You could argue Andy Reid in Philly.
Like Andy Reid in Philly, like
perfect example.
And he got hired in 2 seconds by the
Yep.
Chiefs. Like
Same
sometimes
thing.
you just need a new coat of paint on things.
Based on reporting, I don't think the Steelers would fire Tomlin. I think it would be a situation where Tomlin leaves. I don't think they want to
Mutually agreed to part ways or something.
Kind of, yeah, but I think it would have to be more him wanting out rather. Like, I don't think there's any world, unless they bottom out, which they're not going to with Tomlin. I don't think there's any world where the ownership group fires him, like straight up just gets rid of him, even under like a mutually parted ways thing. I don't think they want to do that. I think it would have to be his decision. And if he does leave, I don't know if he wants to coach anywhere else. I don't know. I don't know what Tomlin's future. I don't know what the Steelers do, by the way, as well at quarterback. Like going into 2026, they're not going to be positioned to draft one of the top guys.
I feel like they might be the Jets' biggest competitor in terms of the looking for bridge quarterback guys.
Probably.
Unless they get Kyler. I think they legitimately could make a play.
I think Kyler makes a lot of sense for them. I think they might go the Kyler route.
Kyler moonballs to DK Metcalf would at least be a bet than just Rodgers dinking and dunking to Pat Fryer.
Oh my God, it'd be so much more fun, so much better. I
don't think they're gonna get like Carnell Tate at like 13, but if they get you
see Brugler's mock has Tate going 4.
Yeah, if they get like a Mekhi Lemon or something like that next to Metcalf.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
I don't know.
That'd be fun.
And they always draft receivers pretty well.
They do, and then
not to like dance on his grave because we are A, not dancing, and B, I don't think he really has a grave at this point because the Jets are 3-9 and the Steelers are 6-6. But there is just a bit of irony and unintentional comedy in everything that we said that could have gone wrong. Like if it goes wrong, it will go wrong in ways A, B, and C. And so far, all these things are happening in the exact same way that we saw it, just not as stark or dramatic as it was with the Jets because nobody foresaw that, but nobody saw them winning less games.
There were higher expectations. There were much higher expectations when Rodgers came to the Jets. It was still, people still looked at him as Hall of Fame, top 10 quarterback. I mean, going into that 2023 season, Rodgers was still considered a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Like that.
MetLife turf ruined my life.
But when the Steelers signed him, it was very much kind of understood. And first of all, they didn't sign him until June, right? Wasn't it June that he finally signed to the team? So it wasn't like this, a hot pursuit for a top quarterback. People kind of understood what he was at this stage for the most part. Expectations were just wildly different. Brian in chat says Big Ben is openly speculating on Tomlin's future. That's how bad things have gotten in Pittsburgh. Yeah, man. For all the Steelers fans in my mentions telling me, oh, it ain't Rodgers. It's been this bad for years. No, it hasn't.
I mean, I get if you haven't won a playoff game in 9 years despite going there all the time.
Yeah, no, I understand
being upset, but
I understand the frustration. You can't tell me that this is not the worst vibes-wise it's been in Pittsburgh. Probably in Tomlin's entire tenure. And then Brian also saying, unless he completely follows the Favre model and winds up in Minnesota, that would be really funny if he does. I feel like he almost wouldn't just because he doesn't want to follow Favre.
I feel like he wanted to. Weren't there reports he wanted to go to the Vikings this year and then he went to the Steelers?
That would have been better for him, but I don't think it'd be good for Minnesota to do that.
So really quick, I think before we get on to our next topic, one thing that I think kept the Rodgers Jets thing alive for as long as it did was Fields was so bad. Like if he was even just a regular bad starting quarter, like I don't know, like Bryce Young or something like that, or like Michael Penix. Yeah. If he played at that level, I think some fans like, okay, you had to do what you had to do. The fact he was probably the worst he's been in his career, like worse than he was in Pittsburgh, worse than probably the last year in Chicago.
This is the worst he's played for sure.
Yeah, I think that led into this is how this new regime evaluates quarterbacks, and they misjudged that. Well, I don't think it's that. I think it's just they misjudged Justin Fields, but a lot of people misjudge Justin Fields. There's some stuff he was doing you just can't, you don't expect a quarterback will do, like throw for 40 yards in a game. And B, I don't think that they thought Justin Fields would be better than Aaron Rodgers in 2025. I think that's what people are misconstruing.
Correct. Also, the Steelers were first place in division and winning games. So that was another part of it. It's like, look how much success Rodgers is having versus the Jets who are 0-7. Like that was also part of the conversation there.
JJ, question. Are you guys sold like some fans that we don't need to draft a receiver early because Mitchell and Mechie? Mitchell and Mechie. Oh my God.
Well, he wrote Mitchie. I understand it. I understand your confusion.
It's Michelin.
Michelin, yeah.
So here's the thing:
they have to. They need to add another wide receiver.
They need to add a receiver. I don't know if that receiver is going to start the year ahead of Adonai Mitchell or John Mechie.
Depends on where you draft them.
I will say, and I'm not saying because again, like I was not as big on this guy as you were. I have more confidence that Adonai Mitchell can eventually be a good wide receiver too than maybe John Mechie being a wide receiver 3.
Oh, so you think you are more confident in Mitchell being a wide receiver 2 than Mechie being a wide receiver 3?
I think right now they're even. But I think
Sure.
developmentally, I just see a ceiling with Mitchell that I don't with Mechie.
For sure. There's absolutely a higher ceiling with Mitchell.
I think even if they draft like an X receiver, if they play base 11 personnel, then they're going to be out in the field anyway. And who's 1, 2, and 3 becomes kind of nebulous. But in terms of targets, I think whoever they draft is probably going to start the year behind Adonai Mitchell, especially if they get a couple more games. Like, he's not going to do the Atlanta game every week, but if they get like 1.5 more Atlanta games, I think he probably starts next year as wide receiver 2. And then Mechie is probably 4 or maybe 3 competing with whoever they draft. Sorry about that. That was a great question. What are you talking about?
Because of the Mitchie.
Oh, okay. I'm like, don't be ashamed. That was a good question.
No, it was a good question. No, I can see that for sure. It's a lot is going to just depend on what these two do over the final few weeks of the season. But I'm with you 100%. AD Mitchell has a much higher ceiling than John Mechie. I don't think Mechie's ceiling is anything higher than a wide receiver 3. I think he could be that. I think
probably more than we thought they were getting when they traded for him.
I think Mechie could be your slot receiver next year. Again, it's going to depend on how he does over the final few games of the season. He just had a very bad game against Atlanta where he had 2 or 3 drops that were very blatant. It was a very bad game. If he's doing that again for a couple more games, then yeah, you're probably not considering him as your slot receiver going into next year. But if he does more stuff like he did the previous week, then yeah, maybe you are. I think ideally, I'd like to sign somebody and draft somebody. That's still where I'm at. Ideally, I'd like to, maybe you're not spending $20 million on Alec Pierce, who's probably going to go back to Indy anyway, but maybe you get a Diami Brown or whatever. You can get him for a relatively affordable price. And then you draft somebody in the back half of the first round or early in the second, and you go into next year, Garrett Wilson, Diami Brown, Chris Bell or Denzel Boston or whoever, Adonai Mitchell and John Mechie and Arian Smith, if he's still sticking around. I would be very happy with that wide receiver room, and I think that's a realistic outcome.
They also don't need to run the air raid. Like, they're going to throw to backs a lot. They're going to throw to tight ends a lot. This is still going to be a run first team next year. So
for sure. I'm not saying that you invest.
You don't need to invest into like 5 receivers that you need to play right now.
It depends on, well, obviously depends partially on what you're getting from Mitchell and Mechie over the final month of the season, but it also depends on what the free agent class looks like. Like, I'm not advocating if you pay, if you sign Jawan Jennings, you're probably not drafting a wide receiver.
So what's been going on with him lately? Did you see what Shelby Harris said about him?
Yes, I did. He is
I see why he got punched in the nuts. He's a wild guy. Point of words.
He is a wild guy. But if you sign someone like that, or even like a Jacoby Myers, then you're probably not drafting a wide receiver in the top 50, I imagine. You're probably not going to invest that much, especially if you get anything from Mechie and Mitchell over these final few games.
JJ, I love Brazel. Brazel, I think, is, and again, I try not to helmet scout, especially with quarterback, but Tennessee wide receivers do not have a very high Jalen Hyatt. I think Brazel's a better prospect than Jalen Hyatt, but like, they don't run routes at Tennessee like Baylor did for a while. It's similar to that.
The Jets are in a very advantageous situation where there is a lot of like the thing they need most in this offense, and maybe Adonai Mitchell could be this, but I don't think he can. They need a big-bodied X receiver, right? Mitchell is more of a deep threat. Like that's not what I'm thinking of when I'm thinking of a big-bodied X receiver. I know Aaron Glenn spoke about how he's what they want in an X receiver, right? I want somebody who's a bit better at the catch point than Adonai Mitchell, who's a bit more, more of like a red zone target. And this draft, where the Jets are going to be picking, I mean, it's littered with potential options. There's a ton of guys in that 20 to like 50 range that the Jets are going to have 2 to 3. They're going to have 3 picks probably in that range, depending on what happens with the Dallas pick. They're going to have 2 to 3 picks in that range where, I think they probably at this stage draft a receiver, an X receiver with one of those picks.
And Mr. Mule, what's the pass rusher free agency class? They're not going to get Hendrickson, but
no, there's a couple of guys. There's Arlen Lebeketti, like guys like that, where it's
Kwity Paye, Adafe Owe.
Yeah, guys that are like starting caliber edge rushers, and they're younger. Like all those guys we just mentioned are young. Like they're.
And I think a lot of them would probably because Jermaine is the number 1 defensive end on this team. I don't care what McDonald's sack numbers are.
100%.
Most of those guys would start over Will McDonald. I think.
And that would be my hope. My hope is they draft or they sign somebody or draft somebody or both.
I think they need to do both. I want to go into the year with 4 edge rushers. I'm happy with. Right now, I have 1.5.
Yeah, honestly, agreed. Yeah, I agree. They have virtually no depth at defensive end right now. Like they're just cycling out Eric Watts, Tyler Barron, Braden McGregor, Michael Clemens, seeing if they can get anything from any of those guys. And ideally, none of those guys are in your defensive line rotation next year.
2025 sack getter, Michael Clemens.
Yes.
Finally.
Is more than Braden McGregor and Tyler Barron and Eric Watts. something.
Second round, David Simpson, second
Jeremy
round.
Bernard.
No, Jeremy Bernard, like
Jeremy
Duran,
Bernard.
yeah.
That's another option. Jeremy
He's
Bernard.
smaller though, Jeremy
He is
Bernard.
smaller. It's
He
not
plays really hard, but I don't.
Mhm.
He plays like if he were huge, he'd be like a top 15 pick. He had
Yes.
like Carnell Tate size, but he doesn't.
Yes. I saw Connor Rodgers mention this, and I agree. I just want the Jets to draft with one of those top 4 picks they have. One of those picks has to be an Ohio State guy.
Or an Oregon guy.
Or an Oregon guy. I'm still saying Ohio State. Like, even though I just mocked Kenyon Sadiq to them last week.
Yeah.
Give me one of Arvell Reese, Carnell Tate, Caden McDonald,
Caleb Downs, Sonny
Styles. One of those guys should
and
be.
And then Oregon,
Uyunglele,
Sadiq. What's the guy? Amari Washington. Tackle.
Yep. A couple of D linemen from Oregon that they could go after.
How do they add 2.5 edge rushers? Well, the half is Will McDonald because can't play the run. Will never play the run. He is a good pass rusher. He just does it. He again, we mentioned it before. It's like the punch card where you get the free milkshake if you go 6 times. Like, he'll do nothing for a month, have one game where not only does he go crazy, like some of those games, like the Titans game last year, he almost won the game for him with all those sacks.
I think part of
the Browns game, he had 4 sacks. He just can't be that bottled up all the time.
I think part of it is he's overexposed. I think he just plays too much. I don't think he should be playing 50, 60% of snaps. I think
they have no other elite pass rushers, so they just stop him, and then
he's not at his best when he's playing that much, and when, like you said, there's not a lot of help around him. You add another 1 or 2 edge rushers into that room, and you have McDonald playing 35, 40% of snaps instead, and he's just able to go after the quarterback. Like, I think you're going to get a much better Will McDonald, a much more efficient Will McDonald, and a much more effective Will McDonald.
Let's talk about things to look for the remainder of the year. Because we were talking about this before the show. If you didn't have the Jets fandom in you, this isn't like too interesting of a team. Like, they're really beating who they're supposed to beat. They're losing to who they're supposed to lose to. The quarterback situation isn't really as much of a lightning rod as it was. They're expected to be bad, but they're not like catastrophic like the Titans or the Raiders. So there's no like car crash on the side of the road factor with them. But
they're a boring team right now, which boring is good for the Jets.
They want to be boring.
Yeah.
They want to be boring. So let's talk about things to look for, things they should strive for, things they need to achieve.
Why we should still be watching
for the rest of the year. And here's one thing that I've been screaming this watching games. I don't know why they do this, especially because of how they want to run their offense and how the offseason's looking. Why is I know he's leading the team in catches because Garrett's hurt. They do not use Mason Taylor nearly enough in the passing game. If they'll go to him for a couple drives, like in the Atlanta game. I think he got 2 passes on the first drive.
Yep.
And did he catch any more for the rest of the game?
That was his only 2 catches of the game.
And not only that, they use him. I think he's averaging like 8 yards a catch. They're not using him like I thought they would use him in the way that I thought they'd use him like Sam Laporta, where Sam Laporta basically ran a wide receiver route tree with the Detroit Lions. And even then, like Colston Loveland's doing similar stuff with the Bears, and that's Ben Johnson's thing. With how they want to run their team, they clearly like doing a little more 2 tight end sets. They clearly like Mason Taylor a lot. They clearly are going to be a run-first team that isn't going to go 5 wide and spread them out and do air raid stuff. Having done that, having invested in Mason Taylor the way they have, you can't have him get targeted 3 times with 2 catches. Like, he should be targeted when Garrett's back. I would argue more than Adonai Mitchell, or as much as Adonai Mitchell. He's a guy, like, the numbers aren't going to bear it out. Armand Membu, if you look at the pass block, outside of Atlanta, he had a not great game, but won the entire year. The numbers for blocking show he's been everything we could have hoped for as a right tackle. Yep. Mason Taylor's just raw numbers of yards and catches don't look impressive, but if you watch him, it's clear. I don't know if he's like a Pro Bowler every year, but the floor is so high. He's such a good tight end for this offense, and they just let him rot. He still doesn't have a touchdown this past year from a quarterback.
Yeah.
The only one he had was that Brees trick play in the Bengals game. That was the only one. Like, get this guy the ball more.
No, I'm with you. Look, as a Mason Taylor dynasty owner, I would 100% want to see Mason Taylor targeted a bit more, especially ahead of the playoffs. Maybe I'd be able to start him. But no, I agree. Last 2 games, he had 2 targets against Cleveland, 4 against New England, 5 against Baltimore, 4 against Atlanta. He hasn't gone for over 40 yards, over 35 yards in a game since Dallas, since October 5th was the last time that he went for over 50.
And even then, that was like stat padding at the end against prevent.
It was 9 catches, 67 yards, but so much of that was just late in the game. And he hasn't had a catch longer than 15 yards since week 4. That's the last time he had a catch longer than 15 yards. Now, they've tried a couple of plays to him. That double reverse that they did this past game, that was to Mason Taylor. And I think a better ball probably gives him a chance there. Tyrod put it a little too high. So they're trying to get him involved a little bit more, but I'm with you. I would like to see them get Mason Taylor more involved in the passing game. He's still going to finish with like probably 50 catches for 450, maybe 500 yards if he gets a couple of big plays down the stretch, which
he
for a
very
rookie
quickly
tight
is
end,
moving up the Jets all-time tight end list.
I mean, look,
that's the one position through the good times and the bad. Tight end has been one spot the Jets have never. I mean, outside of like Jerome Barkham and Mickey Schuler way back when. I mean, like look at the way this fan base discusses Dustin Keller.
I was going to say respect Dustin Keller,
and then you look at Dustin Keller's numbers and you're like, okay, pretty good, but like, I mean, he was I think Kyle Brady maybe gave him PTSD.
We latched on to Chris Herndon because he had 39 catches as a rookie. I'm pretty sure it's 39 catches.
That is one of my, like, everybody has scouting hits, everybody has scouting misses. I thought Chris Herndon was going to be so good.
He looked really good as a rookie. And then
what the hell happened?
Well, he had a DUI, I think, mixed in there, and I think it was a DUI. I don't want to slander him, but I think it was some off-field stuff.
Let's not get his.
He got suspended. He got suspended for something, and I think it was that. Brian says, I'm looking to see offensive play calling development. Yeah, for sure. As teams start to scheme against our current passing attack, how does Engstrom add wrinkles and variations? Yeah, look, that's another one of the things that maybe I didn't put on my list as goals to see, but just continued improvement from the staff, right? Whether that's Aaron Glenn or Tanner Engstrom, even Steve Wilkes, because I think Wilkes has a very good chance to be back in 2026. You want to see this coaching staff continue to take steps forward. And I think we've seen that a lot with Aaron Glenn's game management. We've obviously seen it with the results on the field. And Engstrom, I think, has marginally gotten better in some areas too. And I'd like to see that continue to improve, especially look, if now they can throw the ball a little bit because they have a competent enough quarterback out there, teams are going to adapt to that. And like Brian is saying, let's see if they can switch that up a bit. My first goal was very similar to yours. So I'll just expand upon what you're saying. Not just Mason Taylor. Like I don't want to see them just obviously want to see Mason Taylor get involved, but these final few games, this final month plus of the season should be used to evaluate your young skill players, right? And that was half the reason you went to Tyrod Taylor. The other half being that he's just better and gives you a better chance to win.
And games. Fields is just a non-starter. Like you just physically couldn't do it.
Yeah, but the other half was because you want to evaluate your young skill players. You want to see which guys on this roster, specifically on your offense. Oh, that's what Brian said. Herndon had a banned substance violation. My bad.
Okay.
I take back my deal. I'm sorry for the slander.
Too late. His lawyers are on the phone already.
My bad.
Good job, Justin.
That's on me. But yeah, I just want to see them use these final few games. Sorry, this is my sick game. Remember, Mike, you had your flu pod the other day. Hold on, let me get a sip of water because
this is my Justin's.
I'm a little sick.
This is Justin's flu game, so
it is. But yeah, I want to see them.
That's how you know it's December. So
that's true. I want to see them use these final few games to evaluate Adonai Mitchell, to evaluate John Mechie, to evaluate Mason Taylor. If Arian Smith can get a few targets, that'd be fun. My expectations for him are low, but I'd rather see him getting targets than Alan Lazard or Tyler Johnson.
I think he might be done.
Yeah, the benching for non-performance reasons when you already really weren't playing because you're not good is pretty tough.
And you know they're adding guys to that room.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. That's
like if they keep 6 receivers, they're keeping Isaiah Williams as a returner.
I don't think if I'm betting now, I don't think Arian Smith's on the week 1 roster. I think Arian Smith and Tyler Barron are not on the week 1 roster next year, which sucks for a 4th and a 5th round pick that they can't even make it past their rookie year.
They traded up for one of them.
Yeah, they basically used 2 5th round picks to draft Tyler Barron. So that's obviously the rest of the class. A lot of encouraging signs with those 2 picks, especially.
Malago is really the only okay player. I feel like Moore's good for what he is.
Yeah.
I feel like Thomas looks good. Mm-hmm. Mason Taylor, obviously good. Membu, good. And then just 2 guys who can't play.
I'll transition this actually into another one of my goals, which is just very similar, right? So you're obviously evaluating your young skill players. We've talked a lot about that, how just get Mason Taylor and A.D. Mitchell and John Mechie, all these guys. You want to get them as many targets as possible, get them as involved as you possibly can. But I'll take it a step further, and I'll say this final month, and this is a fairly obvious thing, but it is true. Use this final month to evaluate as many players as you can to see who are you going to bring back as a starter next year. Who do you trust to play a prominent role? So obviously your wide receivers, what role is A.D. Mitchell playing in the team next year? What role is John Mechie playing in the offense? But even beyond that, do you trust Malachi Moore to be your starting safety in 2025? Do you trust Azaria Thomas and Jarvis Brownlee to be 2 of your 3 starting corners in 2025? Do you trust Juwan Briggs to be a starting player in 2025? I think those are all questions that the Jets are going to have to answer over these final few games. And I think there's varying answers for all of them right now. I mean, you could even throw in like Josh Myers and John Simpson, right? Those aren't young guys necessarily, but they're both free agents in the offseason. Elijah Vera Tucker is a free agent in the offseason. What is your plan for the offensive line, right? Like, and I think these final few games, you're really going to use them to determine what the plan of attack for some of these guys is. Because if you do like, say you like Malachi Moore as one of your starting safeties, you already feel comfortable going into 2025. He doesn't need competition, or going to 2026. He is your starter. Then great. That's already one safety spot taken care of. You handle the other one. If you love Azareye'h Thomas and Jarvis Brownlee, and you think those two guys can be your starting corners along with Brandon Stevens next year, amazing. You don't have to invest anything in corner if you don't want to, right? Maybe if something falls in your lap, like Azareye'h Thomas did last year, you can consider something, but you don't have to make it a priority, right? Those are the important conversations that are being had right now in the building in Florham Park, and they're going to be had the next couple of months leading into free agency. And these final few games are a really important evaluation period for the Jets.
I will say one thing. Boy, were we ever wrong on frickin' Brandon Stevens.
Yeah, hand up, man. Hand up.
Oof.
I had some stats, and I'm really mad that I didn't put them in our little thing beforehand. And I think, should I try and do it right now? Is it going to mess things up, Mike?
It might. I don't know.
We're going to try. Who's the guy who said, fuck it, we'll do it live? What's his name?
Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly. Fuck it, we'll do it live. I don't know what this looks like for you guys.
Okay, well, that's not how you do it. So
is that not how you do it?
You just put a blank screen on.
Well, so. I have to add to how I add it. That's how I have to add it.
Well, I'll at least keep it on this while you're doing that. But
I don't think I can. I don't think you can.
Brian Sternbeck, Arian Smith is this regime's Malachi Corley. At least they didn't trade up in the third to get Arian Smith. And I'm going to be honest, I think Arian Smith is already a better Jet than Malachi Corley in terms of production. So that's where we're at.
Mike, I don't think I could do it without going to that screen briefly.
Well.
Okay. Well, you're going to let me do it. Nice. Okay, cool.
See if it works.
No, it's going to work. It's going to work. I have 3. I didn't name any of them. I don't know which one is Stevens. That's unfortunate. Maybe it's this one. I guessed right. Okay, awesome.
Is it this one? Okay.
It is this one. Amazing. Oh, is it there? Can you see it?
It's uploading a screenshot because
I don't know what's going on.
Because Justin has hijacked this show.
I'm sorry. Brandon Stevens. All right. What if I switch back and then switch there? I don't know why it's doing
still
this.
Going.
Well, we're just gonna read it and pretend that that's not there.
Yeah, we'll wait until it loads. All right.
I don't think it's gonna load.
Well.
I'll read what it is actually instead of it doesn't need to be on the screen. I could just read it. So Brandon Stevens stats to prove we were wrong about Brandon Stevens, Mike. Brandon Stevens, he was PFF's highest graded Jets defender in week 13. Once again, another really good week for him. He had a 73.4 PFF grade, allowed just 1 catch for 4 yards on 4 targets. This season, Brandon Stevens, his 74.7 PFF grade ranks 8th out of 84 qualified corners with at least 385 snaps played. 8th out of 84 qualified corners since week 4.
Man, when you're right, you're right.
Since week 4, only Jamel Dean of the Bucks has a higher PFF grade among qualified corners. Stevens has a 79.7 PFF grade since week 4. He also leads all corners with 16 run stops in that time frame. And just to further evidence how much better he's been this season than he has in the past, Brandon Stevens in his career has 5 single-game PFF coverage grades of 76 or higher. 4 of them have come this season in 12 games that he's played. Right? Yep. 12 games the Jets have played. 4 of those 5 have come this year. He's been awesome. So shout out the Jets.
Brian Sternbeck, lesson learned, stop drafting gadget wide receivers. Those are UDFA. The weird thing, this organization, this regime's ability to evaluate receivers is all over the map.
It has always been bad. It is.
But just Darren Muji. So first off, you go into the year with Josh Reynolds, wide receiver. Whatever happened to Josh Reynolds? Is he on IR? Or?
He's on IR, yeah.
Okay. So you go in there with Josh Reynolds, wide receiver 2, and think that's a good receiver room in 2025.
Well, I don't know if they thought it was good, but I thought that it was passable.
Acceptable, passable in 2025. Yeah. Then use a 4th-round pick on Arian Smith because he has the speed. We can teach him to play receiver. But then after those 2 colossal misses, you get John Mechie, who at least looks to be more of a player than the Eagles ever thought he was. Mm-hmm. And then Adonai Mitchell, who has oodles of talent and seems to have adjusted to the Jets' offense. So they've had 3 just trust me, dude, receiver acquisitions. 2 of them they've nailed. 1 of them it was just a huge miss. Same with the defensive line, too. Like Harrison Phillips, they nailed. And Jawan Briggs, talk about really nailing it for the value and all that. And then Tyler Barron can't play at all.
Yeah. This Jets regime has shown a very, for lack of a better word, like good ability to retcon previous mistakes that they made. Right.
There's so few like okay players on this team. Everybody's either promising or like unplayable.
Tony Adams, Michael Clemens.
There's no like Malachi Moore's an okay player. Like there's like 4 okay players. Everybody else is a good starter or really bad.
Brian said, I know you referenced Brugler's pre-college football or college football playoff mock draft earlier, but did you get to who the Jets, or he has the Jets taken with the Colts pick? I don't know if you saw that, Mike, but he has the Jets drafting a cornerback.
Oh, I don't like that.
It's Brandon Cisse. Is that his name?
Brandon Cisse?
I don't think it's Sissy. I don't think it's Sissy.
It might be. I don't know.
That would be really unfortunate if it was Sissy. It's
Cissa. That can't be right.
Cissa?
Yeah. Brandon Seesaw.
They haven't taken Brandon, the corner out of South Carolina, who I didn't realize, Mike, he's only 20. He doesn't turn 21 until July of next year.
I think that's a little too high for him, and I think that I would be happy with a cornerback on day 3.
Yep.
Not that high, especially this cornerback class is not very good.
No.
Like Jermod McCoy was supposed to be number 1. He's been hurt all year.
He's been hurt, yep.
Mansour Delane, like okay, but he's not like a top. He's not like when Sauce or Stingley.
Yeah, came out, I like a Chris Johnson, but he's probably a day 2 guy at a San Diego.
Who's State. 3? Avion Terrell or
probably Terrell? Yeah, I this is the first that I've seen Brandon for insert last
Brandon
name.
Seesaw.
Yeah, I don't know. It's insulting. This is the first that I've seen him go in the first round. I was very shocked when I saw that, and even if it was like an Avion Terrell or say Jermod McCoy fell to the Jets at 23. I still don't probably make that pick. Like, I just don't.
What if it's Delane? Because Delane seems like he's the top guy.
Maybe. I need to do more. I haven't looked at the cornerback class much at all because I just don't think the Jets are drafting one high. So I really have not looked at the cornerback class much. I just would be shocked if they use the top 50 pick on these corners, unless they're really not sold on AZ Thomas. Like, if they don't like AZ Thomas, then maybe. But Brown, like, they're not going to draft the slot guy. I assume.
I'm pleased with Thomas's performance.
Yeah, I think
penalties and all. I'm pleased with it. Yeah, one catch allowed?
If you're bringing in corner depth, like if you're bringing in someone to compete with him, I don't think you're using a top 50 pick on that. Like, I just think there's a lot of other positions you probably should target before you do that.
Stevens is locked in as a starter. Brownlee, I think is locked in as a starter next year. So
I think I think a lot of people looked at the Jets, they trade away Sauce, and they're like, oh, they can use help in the cornerback room, but not realizing that the Jets internally, to my knowledge, they like these corners. Like, all indications are they like their 3 corners right now, and I think they want all 3 of them to be starters in 2026. I would be shocked if they made a decision like that. They made a move like that.
A couple more draft things we'll get into before we keep going into more goals to watch. David Simpson, Sonny Styles, or Anthony Hill Jr. with the Colts.
Dude, I love it. Give me Sonny Styles. Give me Styles.
At 2023 or whatever.
I don't care. I
don't think he'll be there, but yeah.
You think he's going top 20 at this point?
I think there are a lot of teams like in the teens right now that could pick him.
He's like such a perfect linebacker for what they need to, because he's a bigger guy.
And Hill's like another like kind of Sherwoody, like stuffs the run, doesn't cover great.
They should, and I think they will be targeting a bigger linebacker, because it's kind of just, it's shown this year that like the Jets linebacker group has not been good this year. And I think one of the biggest reasons is they're just small. They're very small. Quincy and Sherwood together are
Sherwood's what, 220?
Yeah, like if that. And Quincy's not even 6 foot. I think Quincy's 5'11".
5'11", yeah.
Like, it's a very, very small linebacker room. And it was able to work last year, probably because Salah's scheme, I think, masked a lot of it. It masked a lot of it. But this year, it's really been exposed. And on top of that, Sherwood and Quincy just haven't been as good as they were last year. But I think a lot of it is just they're too small. Styles is at least 240, 245. He's a big guy. He hits. And he's a good athlete, too.
Who would have thought Matt Patricia would be this whiz in college?
Yeah, dude. Every Ohio State, give me all the Ohio State players, legitimately. Like, I love every Ohio State prospect in this draft. Caden McDonald, I would love Caden McDonald back half of the first round. You get him at 23.
0 sacks from DTs the entire year, but you just won't run.
I don't care, man. He's awesome.
Him and Harrison Phillips are just like
and then
0 pass rush, 100 run stuff. On
you're getting some pass rush production right now from Jawan Briggs. Maybe not to the point where I want him as your starting 3 tech, but
at least Briggs is like a guy who could evolve and maybe get a little better with that. He's not too big either, so
he's already better this year than he was. Like, he's doing more as a pass rusher than he has at any point, either in his college career or in the NFL. I mean, he didn't play much with the Browns last year. He played like 6-7 games. not to do that. Sorry, that was an unintentional. I'm sorry. Okay. By the way, I said this before we went live. You know, Spotify Wrapped has the age thing.
Yeah.
My age was 67, and I'm like,
I like how you have to say 67 now instead of.
well, because that's what it was. It wasn't 6'7". My age was 67.
Like-
That was what it said, which is crazy. I can't believe it's that high. But
One other goal I'm looking at. We talked about this recently. Steve Wilks. It's really. I don't want to say it's tough to evaluate him, but there's going to be two camps that are set up. I feel like I know which one Aaron Glenn's going to be in. There's going to be, you don't have any interceptions this year. And this defense, while they have good like success rate numbers and all that, they don't have a very good pass defense, and the scheme's very vanilla. And then Glenn and even Wilks might say, and they're not totally wrong in this, well, what do you want us to do? Look at the personnel. Now, what Wilks can do to convince me that it is just he's working around personnel problems and not just an old vanilla scheme that's outdated. Get some turnovers, please. Get an interception. If you get a couple big interceptions at the end of the year, which shows that guys I think are getting a little more comfortable in this scheme, then I'll believe you. If you don't get any the entire year, how can I? There's a level of futility that goes beyond just like bad personnel from a schematic point of view, from a coaching point of view. Like the Titans are a bad team. Like Brian Callahan with the Titans was terrible. They weren't that bad where they had to win 4 games in 2 years and they get smoked every single week. Like that goes beyond that. Right now, like if Wilks keeps this up and doesn't get any turnovers, I don't care how bad the personnel is. If you can't get 1 or 2, nothing you say about, well, it was hard on me, woe is me. Nothing you say will stick with me.
Yeah, it's almost, it feels like a curse. Like I want to, obviously everybody is to blame here. Like you blame the scheme, you blame the players as well. I also blame just luck. Like it's truly miraculous that the Jets have not been able to take away, to record an interception through 12 games, through 13 weeks. They also have had 1 defensive takeaway, and that came overseas, did not come in the US. They've had 1 other takeaway because of a muff punt that they literally did nothing about. Like that was not,
it just bounced into their laps.
That is not a forced takeaway. That is strictly the other team messed up and you happen to capitalize.
Has a team ever not gotten an interception? No.
The longest streak is 14 games, I believe. The longest ever streak. This is already the longest streak to begin a season, but I believe the longest concurrent streak is 14 games. I think it's the Raiders.
What did Kirby Joseph have, like 9 last year by himself with Aaron Glenn?
Yes.
That's what's so weird. In Detroit, they were risky, but they got takeaways.
And the fewest takeaways, I believe, ever in a season is 7. I believe that's the record for the fewest.
They're blowing past that.
The Jets have 2, and one of them was, again, a muff punt.
Are they going to get a turnover a game for the remainder of the season? I would
be shocked. But you know what's going to happen? It's just how sports works. One of these games they're going to get 4 takeaways. Like it's just something is going to be in the air.
Too little, too late.
Right. It's not going to matter, but they're going to win that game. They're going to have like 4 takeaways against the Saints or something, right? Tyler Shuck's going to throw 3 picks, and we're all going to be happy, but also like, damn, they beat the Saints. Tyler Shuck looked bad. Maybe New Orleans takes a quarterback now. Like that, I feel like that wouldn't be a good thing, which actually leads me into one of my goals for the rest of the season. I want the Jets to win at least 1 division game. They have 3 left. They
need to win 1 game they shouldn't win, was how I put it.
Yes. They play the Bills, Dolphins, and Patriots once more. Give me one of those games, right? Preferably give me Buffalo. If I could pick one game in the remainder of the schedule.
Patriots.
No, I don't know. Let me sell you on Buffalo. Final week of the season, week 18. Bills right now, it's looking like they might need that win to make the playoffs, right? Let me knock them out. Let the Jets knock them out. I want to see the Jets go in. It's in Buffalo. I want to see them go into Buffalo. Final game of the year. Jets got nothing to play for. Bills have everything to play for. Only thing the Jets are playing for is pride and playing spoiler to their division rival, the team that I know the Patriots are the top team in the AFC East right now. I feel like the Bills are still kind of looked at as the big
after playing the Big 12 schedule this year.
I feel like the Bills are still looked at as the big bad guys in the division. Like they were the head honchos. They have been for years, and I think they're still probably, in my opinion, the best team in that division. I think the Patriots are. I think the Bills are still better than the Patriots. You go into Buffalo, final game of the season, and you upset them and you knock them out, a la 2015, right, when the Bills did that to the Jets. I want nothing more. I don't even hate the Bills. I got nothing against the Bills.
They're the team I mind the least in the AFC East.
I think that would do so much for this, like for the psyche of the guys in the locker room. And it would really put the Jets kind of on the map of like, hey, they are that young, frisky team that You know, they're going to fight their asses off every week, and they're going to overachieve.
If the Jets would get Sean McDermott fired,
if it does, man, then even better, because I think Sean McDermott's a really good head coach. Even better.
I think if they fire him, it's like Tomlin. He get another job very quickly.
Absolutely. But... Yeah, and then right there, as Mr. Mule said, a decade after the Tompkins incident, the Ken Tompkins incident. Yeah,
it all comes full circle. We exercise that demon there.
That would be what I this is a very sad thing to say, but we just have had so few moments. That'd be one of my favorite Jets moments in years if the Jets did that.
It would only be if there were consequences. If they're fine the next year and win the Super Bowl, then I don't know. But if they fire McDermott and they spiral and then May seizes control of the division, then maybe, I don't know.
I'm talking about in the moment. And absolutely, as Brian is saying, it'll be Tyrod doing it to the Bills.
Oh,
instead of Tyrod playing for the Bills. Oh, it's just perfect. It's so, and maybe they got to throw. Dude, if they still had Elijah Moore on their team, they cut him. But if they still had Elijah Moore,
the Broncos practice squad.
I know, but if they still had Elijah Moore, and Elijah Moore was there, Ken Tompkins, where he had a deep pass and Malachi Moore got a hand on it.
Oh yeah.
Dude, anyway, that's the game I want to win. I don't, preferably, if I'm just saying what I want to happen the rest of the season, you can lose to New Orleans. You could have a stinker. I'll allow it. You can have a stinker against New Orleans. Make Tyler Shuck look awesome, right? Defense letdown game.
More likely the Saints don't take a quarterback in the draft.
Right. And then you lose to a team that you could be fighting for draft position. Maybe Tony Adams gets beat 3 times. Cool. He's a UFA in the offseason. You're not re-signing him. I don't care. Lose that game. And you know what? You lose to Jacksonville as well, because I want Indianapolis to not make the playoffs. I don't want the Colts to make the playoffs. And I saw an interesting stat actually earlier.
I'm in a tough spot with that because, well, I will say, not to bring the mood down. Like, I know that we're rooting against Dallas would help the pick, but
yeah,
I like seeing Quinnen do well. And honestly, after that Marshawn Nealon thing, I can't be like, oh, look at the Cowboys suck this year.
I can. I mean, it's still sad, but I'm still going to root against the Cowboys.
And Sauce was so good for so long on so many shitty teams. Part of me is like, I don't want him to get on a good team and then not ruin it, but like they were this awesome team and then he gets there and then they collapse. That would be
a really interesting stat that I saw, Mike. Shout out Timo Riesk on Twitter for this. The Colts, if they win 11 games, their playoff chances are 98%. If they lose less than that, their percentage, if they win 10 games, is 2%. If they win 9 games, is 7%. They have to win 11 games.
How does that work?
I don't know how that works. It's probably just because they play the Jags and Texans.
2% at 10 wins
is some weird. I don't know. That's what it says. That's what it says.
What?
Unless it's a typo. Maybe it's supposed to be 20%. I don't know. But either way, if they win 11 games, they're making it. If they win less than that, it's not looking good. Meanwhile, Jacksonville, if they win 11 games, it's at 99%. If they win 10 games, they're still 68%.
And they still have, I think they play the Colts twice and the Titans. So
yes, and the Jets.
The Jets, yep.
So, but the Colts play the Texans again. They play the Jaguars twice, and they play 2 other teams, I think, that are pretty tough. I'm pretty sure they have a very difficult schedule.
The Jags or the Colts?
The Colts. They play.
Oh yeah, I think they play the Niners, don't they?
They play in Seattle to end the year. Or not to end the year.
Oh, that's a brutal schedule.
They play the Jaguars. They play in Seattle. They play at home against the Niners. Then they play the Jags and Texans. That is a brutal schedule for the Colts. And this is what I'm saying, right? So if the Jets lose that Jags game, which they should, they lose that game, and the Jags take care of business, I think there's a real chance the Colts will make the playoffs, and the Jets get another top 18 pick out of that Colts pick. That is why, if I'm just saying right now what I want, give me the Jets losing the Jags. They can lose to the Saints, but I want to beat Buffalo. And hell, man, beat Miami this week. It's about damn time you beat Tua, right? Beat Miami this week.
I was getting to that because you always said the line was, be competitive, don't get blown out.
Yeah.
Genuinely, even if I'm being a little optimistic, they've had 2 embarrassing games.
Yeah, Dallas and Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then Miami was like a half the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly just Fields himself and then the Allen fumble. But other than that, they've been in every other one, right? So
yeah, there was a stat Samini put out today where it was like the vast majority of their games have been a 1-score game in the fourth quarter. Where it's like, that's all you want. Like that's really all you want.
With no turnovers ever and barely passable quarterback play.
Yeah, here it was. It was oh shoot, I just had it. It was here it is. The Jets have been involved in 7 consecutive games that were within 1 score in the fourth quarter. It hasn't been since the Cowboys game, I think it was. or probably the Cowboys game would have been the last one.
And
So they're
typically,
consistently in
one
games.
score luck can change from look at the Chiefs. One score
Right.
game success can flip from year
And
to
look
year.
at the Broncos next year when they win 7 games.
Well, part of it too, though, is with like how do I phrase it? Like part of it too is
Winning.
they just don't have the horses.
They don't. No, they don't. They're not good. Like, this is obviously a bad football team.
Let's go talk about a team that was a bad football team and is apparently now no longer a bad football team. The suddenly red-hot Miami Dolphins. They look dead.
They did.
They look like Mike McDaniel might be back next year.
I think he will be.
I think he will be too.
We got an early prediction here from Greg on YouTube. Said Jets will pick off Tua. I hope so, man.
I hope so too.
Tua kills the Jets. Tua usually does so well.
Mike McDaniel, I think he went against Saleh so much in. Yeah. Did they overlap? They did in San Francisco, right?
Yeah. McDaniel was there for a few years. I'm almost positive they overlapped.
Yeah, and I think the guys they brought in to succeed Saleh was D'Amico Ryans, who basically ran the same exact defense. So,
dude, Tua in his career against the Jets, 7-0, 73% completion percentage.
7-0, really?
7-0. They've never beat him. He's never lost to the Jets.
That's sad.
10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
That's not 7-0 production.
7.73 yards per attempt. Only been sacked 6 times in 7 starts.
Did he have I think he had one terrible game where they won?
Might have. He might
against Saleh, maybe.
But 7-0 against the Jets. It's about damn time we changed that.
It is about time. Now, no Tyreek Hill in this game.
Of course.
It's basically going to be the Devon Achane show.
Jalen Waddle playing though, no? Or is he hurt?
I think he's even again though.
Well, he's really good. Jalen Waddle's really good.
Well, Jalen Waddle's really good, but
yeah, he's back. He's playing.
Their passing attack without McDaniel, it's kind of very Jets with Garrett Wilson, where you're afraid. Teams are afraid of Garrett Wilson, but you can stop the passing attack and still let Garrett Wilson get his catches in.
You know what? It's been a while since we checked, Mike. Let's check it on Jonas Savanaya's PFF grades. Have they gotten better?
It was 2. I think it's higher now.
It's impossible to get worse. It was.
He could have won, I guess. There.
Yeah. Look at it. He's up to 30. Holy shits!
Wow. What did he have? His last couple games or something?
Dude, this past game, unbelievable. 63.2 grade. 73.8 PFF pass block grade. Oh my God.
He figured it out.
Well, 2 games ago was an 8.5, but he's getting better.
Brian Sternbeck. Kenneth Grant's not looking great either. That's Chris Greer's fine. What if Chris Greer getting fired? Because his first year was the last year they won a playoff game.
It's actually amazing. It's amazing how long of a leash that he got. He was there for how many years as a GM? Over 10? And he was
over 10, and he was an assistant for so long.
He was with the organization as a scout, I think, since 2000.
Brian Sternbeck, bonus question. Which teams did the Jets beat for both those winning streaks?
What winning streaks?
Oh, the Jets on Sunday have a chance to earn their second 2-game winning streak of the season. When is the last time they had 2 separate winning streaks in the same season?
Well, they had that one 2022, was it? When the
where they went off, yeah.
Yeah. Did they have a second winning streak that year?
Did they win 2 games in a row that year? I don't think they did after that. I think they went loss, win, loss, win.
I think you're right. Goodness gracious. I don't know. 2020 wouldn't have been, obviously not 2020. 2019.
2019, no, they went 1 and whatever and then 1 out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was 20. Yeah. That was, and 20. It was 2020 that they did.
2017 with McCown.
Probably.
They started out 3-2, and then they just fell apart.
I couldn't tell you any of the specific games from that year. I forget, man.
You just blocked that year out?
No, I remember it.
John Morton year?
No. I think back fondly of the Josh McCown year. That was just 8 years ago, and I don't remember the game by game.
By the way, our John Morton hype is fizzled out.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be back.
No, probably not.
I think he'll go to Philly and get his house will get egged after they fire Patullo.
We'll always have 2017 though.
We always will.
I don't know. Good question, though, Brian. I really don't know.
The Jets are at home in this game. They've built themselves into a team that is not good, but they've always been a team that can only win one very specific way.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a little better at winning that very specific way now because Tyrod Taylor can actually throw the ball and not get sacked 10 times. Because of that, I think they win this game.
Ooh, okay.
I think they win this game, and I've been very stingy on picking. We're not fanboying. We've been stingy
We were
on.
both right. We both picked them over the
Both
Falcons,
picked them to
right?
beat the Falcons.
That's
I
the
picked them
first
to beat the
time.
Browns too. So
That's the first time we've both been correct about a win this year.
I'm gonna be honest. I think every time I've picked them to win, except for the first Dolphins game, I think they. No, you did, and I didn't. So
Yeah. That was my first correct prediction win. It was only the second time I predicted a win this year, I think.
yeah.
So
Well, the Browns, I picked them, but
I didn't, but you did.
I couldn't see Dylan Gabriel, and then he didn't. So
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be. I'm gonna say 23-20. The
Mm,
defense for Miami is a lot better than it was beforehand, but I
much
think
better.
the Jets' offense is going to compensate because they don't have Justin Fields.
Yeah.
So because of that, another low score. I do think they finally get an interception. I don't think it'll be like some great ball hawking play. I think it'll be like it hit off a guy's hand and deflected, and then a guy picks it off. But they need that. I think honestly, this is going to sound weird because they're going to move Wall around. Whoever ends up in the slot and how they handle that, please not Jasir Taylor.
Probably Malik Washington.
If they can replace Jarvis Brownlee effectively in this game, because I think they'll probably move Waddle around and get him some slot stuff too. I think that may determine how effective the pass defense will be, and that'll probably determine the winner. Because I believe, as good as Achane is, I still like this Jet. Like, the run stuffing numbers are bad for the Jets, but that's just because they were losing so much earlier in the year. So teams just ran up yards against them. And then James Cook had a crazy game. Like, this team can stop the run. So because of that, I'm picking, again, another low score. I can't be too high on this offense, especially with no Garrett. But I think this team is in a good place right now. And even if they lose, I hope not. I don't think they'll get smacked around or at least lose in an embarrassing way like they did on the Monday night game.
Yeah, listen, Miami's one of the hottest teams in football, which is a crazy statement to say, but they've won 4 of their last 5. They've won 3 in a row. They destroyed Buffalo a few weeks ago in a ridiculous game. They've squeaked past Washington and New Orleans these last 2 games, but I think they were clearly the better team in each of those, especially against New Orleans. That game was not as close as the final score would suggest.
Even when we were playing, we're like, they shouldn't be this bad.
No, doesn't this feel like a game that Darren Waller is going to do really well against the Jets? They struggle.
Well, every tight end's good against the Jets.
I know. Well, in his first game, he had 2 touchdowns against the Jets when he played them earlier in the year, and that was tough to watch. This is his second game back, I think, now since he's returned.
And then he's going to get hurt again, and then he's only going to haunt the Jets this year.
Yeah, he'll get 2 more touchdowns on Sunday, and then he misses the rest of the year. I could see that happening. But weirdly, the O-line for Miami's been better. Again, it was awful to start the year, but it's been better as of late. They're rolling right now. I'm picking the Dolphins. I'm not picking the Jets here. I know the Jets are playing much better football, but the Dolphins are a much more talented team. I think they have more mismatches that they can exploit, especially like you mentioned, no Jarvis Brownlee. I don't know what the Jets are going to do to nickel, but I think Malik Washington or Jalen Waddle or whoever they're using in that slot is probably going to torch whoever is guarding him. And whether that's Jasir Taylor or whether it's Jordan Clark or whether it's Isaiah Oliver, whatever the Jets do there, I don't trust any of those options. And like you said, Miami's defense has been playing a lot better. Their corners have low-key been okay. Like Rasul Douglas, pretty solid player. He's actually had a good year. Jack Jones is fine. They have Minka now. Like their corners have been better for sure. So I am less confident than you are, I think, in a victory. I'll say Miami.
Well, I'm thinking a 3-point win. I'm not saying,
Sure.
They're going to go run them. It's not going to be like that 2022 game where they just beat the crap out of them.
By the way, we got our answer to the trivia question. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah. Oh, that was what I was thinking of, too. I was like, didn't Tua lose in 2019? Tua didn't play that game. That was Skylar Thompson.
It was 2019. They beat Washington, Oakland. So the Jets haven't done
And that's when all 3 of those teams were just like god-awful.
And 2 of those 3 teams have now changed their names. So that's
yeah.
One of them is Vegas. Another one is no longer that football team name.
Because of
reasons.
Because of reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, they defeated Giants, Washington, Oakland, and Pittsburgh, Buffalo at the end of the season. Yep, there you go.
I'm going to be honest. I'm good with all the name throughout all sports. I got Cleveland Guardians immediately. I got Washington Commanders immediately. I got Los Angeles Rams immediately. Even after a while, I still was able to finally get San Diego Chargers out, and I went to Los Angeles Chargers. Yeah. I still can't get Oakland Raiders out. I still say
it sounds better than Las Vegas.
Oakland Raiders it fits.
It really does. I agree. It does sound a lot better, but
Las Vegas, because I think they weren't the first. I mean, the Aces were there, but of the
big
the Golden Knights. That's
Oh
a
yeah,
stupid
they
name.
were. They were.
And
First.
they were just Vegas, so they're the only.
They're
They're
the
the first
only-
Las Vegas team.
They're the first Las Vegas of the big four men's major sports.
And then they're gonna get the A's,
They're
which
gonna
will
get
be
the Athletics, dude. It annoys me that they're just the Athletics. That
Oh
annoys
my
me.
God! Why not be the Sacramento Athletics?
Right.
That sounds cool.
That's how shitty Sacramento is. Look, no disrespect. The Sacramento Kings, they are my second favorite basketball team. I hate them right now because they're just an abysmal organization. But that just shows what people think of the city of Sacramento. That the Athletics are like, actually,
Sacramento. I don't know.
We'll just be. Well, Sacramento's not great. It's not great.
I don't know.
I've never been. No disrespect to people from Sacramento.
It's terrible. I've never been there, but
I've never been to fucking North Korea. I've heard bad things though, Mike.
Okay, well, North Korea versus Sacramento, California.
Hey, listen, it's a conversation. It's a debate. It's a conversation. All right. Predictions, and then I'm gonna pull up Brian because I have a trivia question for you, Mike. But
okay.
Predictions first. Final score.
Jets 23, Dolphins 20.
Ooh. Okay. I'll say I think it's man, I'm just maybe
I still don't like that Dolphins offensive line.
It's the Jets.
And they get Jermaine back for this game.
Yeah, but I don't like the Jets defensive line. So I don't think they're gonna. I'm not confident they get consistent pressure. I'm feeling for the first time in a few weeks. I'm feeling like we're too happy. I feel like a stinker might be coming. I think maybe Tyrod is a bad game. I'll say maybe Tyrod gets hurt and Fields comes in or something. I don't know, man.
I feel like the Jaguars, they might just get
I feel
skunked.
like it's been too many weeks of us being content and happy, and I'm not used to this. I feel like we're gonna have a letdown of some capacity.
Well, even if they lose, not to like go back on the tank wagon, but like
I'm gonna say Miami 27, Jets 13. So I'll say a 2-touchdown game. That's what I'll say.
A Buffalo Jet fan, I got to give him credit for this. A lot of people are upset about the tank, and he put out a stat where he said the difference in point differential between the Jets and the Titans is similar to the difference between the Jets and the Bears right now. Like there are levels of ass at the bottom of the NFL that it is just really hard to get to. And like this year, you're not going to out tank the Titans. You're not going to out tank the Raiders. Like,
because
so don't wish
that
for
team to be the worst team in the NFL, Mike. You don't just have the worst roster. You also have to be poorly coached. You're not going to be a good, well-coached team.
Poorly ran, chaotic too.
Yes. You're not going to be a well-coached team and win 2 games. Point me to the last time that's happened. It does not happen. If you're winning 2 games, you're next level ass cheeks. Like you are just
Kellen Moore with the Saints, I feel like is doing okay with what he's got.
Maybe, but that's also that is the worst roster in football. I think New Orleans is even worse than Tennessee in terms of the roster.
And they're actually like in games. I'm like Chuck looks okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
but
that might be it. But
it's tough. All right, Mike, are you ready for this trivia question? I wanted to put it on the screen, but I'm not gonna be able to do it now. So I just got to read it to you. Okay. There's a chance you saw this. It's not mine. I stole it from Twitter, but I thought it was a really fun question. It was NBC Sports. They tweeted out a thing of, I think they were discussing it on air. It was active NFL players who played in Chris Sims' last season. So basically, there are 15 players in the NFL who were active in 2010 who are still playing today in the NFL.
Nick Folk, I'd imagine, is one of them.
Yes. So if you want to try and rattle off as many as you can, I have the position and team I could also give you for some of these. Now, there are 3 long snappers, so best of luck. I will
like JJ Jansen and
I'm going to tell you ahead of time. I got everybody but one player, and it was one of the long snappers because he switched teams, and I didn't realize.
I'm just not going to get the long snappers.
But you got JJ Jansen; he's one of them. So that's one of them. So
all right, well,
Jansen,
Rodgers, obviously.
Rodgers, you already said Folk. Those are 3.
Stafford,
absolutely.
Flacco.
There is one more quarterback.
There's one more quarterback.
It is the least relevant. And guys in chat, if you guys want to play along,
it's not Kirk Cousins. It's not Tyrod.
Mike, I'm going to say this. Go away from chat. Like turn off chat on your screen so you can't see it.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I already zoomed out.
But others in chat, you could absolutely play along with this.
There's one more quarterback.
Yep. There's
one. Rodgers, Stafford, Flacco.
Mm-hmm. It is the most irrelevant for sure. He's not a starter.
Is he on a roster right now?
Yeah, all these guys are on a roster. He has played in a game this year. Solely because he is in his
40s pretty much, or
I think he's 39. He's
39.
a third string quarterback.
It's not Case Keenum, is it?
It's not Keenum. That's a great guess though. He's probably like 36. Probably Keenum 37.
That would probably have to.
Someone in chat just got it. Brian.
It's not Josh Johnson.
It is Josh Johnson.
Oh, he's playing the game this year.
He remember when Daniels was hurt and Mariota came out for a couple of plays. Johnson stepped in. I believe that's the only game that.
Oh, okay. So I got all the quarterbacks.
You got all the quarterbacks. I'll give you positions to make this easier.
I imagine it's a bunch of kickers and punters.
There's 3 kickers and a punter. There, you already got Nick Folk. There's 2 more kickers and 1 punter.
I got Nick Folk, and there's 2 more kickers.
One of those kickers is currently hurt, so he's not currently playing, but he's played this year and he's currently injured.
AFC or NFC?
The guy who's injured is NFC.
Injured kickers in the NFC.
Yep. And this team has had some kicker woes this year, and actually in a lot of recent seasons, but especially this year.
Robbie Gold, right?
No, he's not still in the league.
He's not still in the league.
No. It's fair.
That would have been a good guess.
That's a fair guess. He kicked forever. He was kicking when he was 40. I think.
I mean, these guys always do. Jason Hansen, I remember, kicked for like 25 years.
Brian and chat got the punter. The punter is you should know the punter.
I'll
say you should know the punter. Punter's NFC.
Oh, Thomas Morstead.
His old friend Thomas Morstead. Friend of the show.
Friend
of the show, Thomas Morstead. That is the only punter in the league who was playing in 2010 who was still in. Brian also just got the injured kicker. He started with an NFC team, played for a long time with that NFC team.
Giants.
Yeah.
Graham Gano.
It is Graham Gano.
After Younghoe Koo. If there were any justice in the world, but there isn't because we're Jets fans, the butt fumble is still this ubiquitous thing.
I know.
Younghoe Koo does that and he gets nothing.
That kick was, and it's so funny.
That's worse, I would argue, than the butt fumble.
Did you hear his explanation after the game?
Yeah, the ball moved. Yeah.
You watch back that play.
No, it didn't.
It was moving a little. That's not what happened.
That's when I have too much at Topgolf and I'm just missing the thing. Like, yeah.
He said he pulled up. That's not what happened. I'm almost positive he just stepped too far and close to the ball to the point where when he went to follow through, he was just not in, like, he just stepped weird and he kicked behind the ball. That's what happened. Whatever, man.
Who's the other kicker?
Brian just got the other kicker. It's AFC. I believe this is his first year on that team. He's bounced around a lot lately. He is known historically for having one of the biggest legs in NFL history.
Oh, like Matt Prater? Is he still in the league?
He's at the Bills now.
He is. They keep
Tyler
Bass is their kicker.
Exactly, because Bass is hurt. So Prater is the current kicker. Those are the kickers.
And then the long. I'm just not going to get the long.
There's two. I'll tell you the one long snapper I did not get. So I'll tell it for Chad. The other 2 long snappers are the Titans long snapper and the 49ers.
Oh, Mercedes Lewis.
Mercedes Lewis is the tight end. Yes, that Brian just got him as well.
Oh
Mercedes
my God.
Lewis, 41 years old, just signed with the Broncos.
He has to have like gambling debts, or he just hates his family. There's no reason to sign with the Broncos practice squad as a tight end at 41
years old. He loves playing ball, man. He loves
him and Jason Peters, I think. Go check their bank accounts.
If not for Rodgers, he'd be the oldest player in the league, I think, which is just insane as a tight end.
As a tight end. Well, Jason Peters was like 40 and starting at left tackle.
I know.
He's a Hall of Famer, right?
Peters, you would hope, for just longevity's sake, and he was so good for so long. Yeah. The long snappers, by the way, are the Titans long snapper and the Niners long snapper. The Titans,
I'm not going to get him.
Titans one is Morgan Cox. That one I got. He's been there for a few years.
And the Niners is who?
Niners. This is the only one I didn't get. He was with the Texans for like 15 years.
Weeks?
John Weeks. John Weeks. Good shit. But I didn't know. Apparently he signed with the Niners this offseason. I had no clue. I didn't know that. I thought their long snapper was still Tabor Pepper, if you remember him.
Oh my God.
That was my last knowledge of the 49ers long snapper situation. All right, you're missing just 3 players. They are all trench players, 2 defensive linemen, 1 offensive lineman. Great guess with Cam Jordan. It is not Cam Jordan, Brian. That's a great guess, though.
So, like, Al Woods is, like, I'm going to guess they're, like, run-stuffing DTs.
I think Cam Jordan was 2011 was drafted, right? So there was the year out. Yeah, he was 2011.
Like Cam Hayward or something?
No, that's also a good. He might have also been like 2011, 2012. That's a great guess. One of these guys, one of these guys very recently just started playing football again.
Like he unretired?
Yeah, he just came out of retirement. Like just came out of retirement.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get these.
You know them.
I'll know them, but then I'm.
All right, I'll give you hints then. So the guy just came out of retirement to play for the team he had played with his entire career. He'd never played for any other team.
Brandon Graham.
Brandon Graham just came out of retirement, so he's there. There's 1 defensive lineman, awesome player, still really good. Like still a very good defensive lineman. And he's now back this year with the team that I believe he started with and played most of his career with. But he
AFC or NFC?
NFC. But he's played in the AFC before. He bounced around the last couple of years. Really good interior defensive lineman. He's Pro Bowler, 39 or so. I think he's 39 years old, still playing at a super high level. NFC West.
NFC West.
Also, awesome human being. I believe he's won Walter Payton Man of the Year. He's been a nominee at least for sure.
I'm going to just Calais Campbell.
Calais Campbell. There it is.
Calais
Calais Campbell. I've interviewed Calais Campbell.
And then I'm not going to get. Oh, he's got the deepest voice.
Yes, he does. You will get this.
I'm like, whoa.
You will get the offensive lineman because he has been one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL for a very long time. I'd say he's finally lost a step now, but offensive tackle.
AFC?
NFC. Think of the best offensive tackles in the NFL over the last 10 years. This guy will come to mind. NFC, he's been on this team for a very long time.
Has he been an All-Pro before?
Yeah, 100%. He's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer. Okay.
I would say he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's made.
Why am I blanking on this?
He's made. Well, maybe he's not a Hall of Famer. Well, no, he's not. He's an 11-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro. He should be an All-Famer.
Oh, Trent Williams.
There it is for the 49ers. There it is. There you go. You got it.
Well, the Jets got one of them who played with Aaron Glenn.
And they had another one of them on the team last year. They had 2 on the team pretty recently. And Flacco, I'm sorry, they had 3 on the team recently because they had Rodgers, they had Flacco, and then they had Morstead last year.
And then Nick Folk. And
then they have Nick Folk this year. So the Jets, and you know what? They had Josh Johnson pretty recently too.
Yeah,
that's another
retirement home.
So thank you for tuning in. Yeah, there's your fun little
episode of the Jet Press Podcast. Justin, sign us off from your flu game performance.
I will. Mr. Mule in chat says guessing Cam Hayward. I think Cam Hayward was 2011 or 2012. He was 2011. So Cam Hayward and Cam Jordan, awesome guesses. You missed them by a year. They were 2011. But anyway, until next time, thank you all for joining us on the show today. You can follow Mike on Twitter at @ByMichaelSean. Follow me on Twitter, Justin D. Fried. Follow the Jet Press at the Jet Press. Download the Jet Press Podcast wherever you get your podcast. Check us out on YouTube and TikTok. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. Also, again, I say this every show at this point, but thank you once again at the top of the show to Austrian Jet Fan who donated 10 memberships, I believe, before we even went live. You are the man, Austrian Jet Fan. If you're still watching, just know you are the man and you are funding the show. Again, you are going to help us buy Christmas presents for our families. So thank you. Thank you for that. We stream live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time and live immediately following every single Jets game. Thank you all for listening to Jet Press Podcast. I've been Justin Fried. That is Mike Luciano. See you guys next time.
Non-Jets related note, but he's a finalist now. Get Roger Craig in the Hall of Fame for crying out loud.
Sure.
Him and Kenny Anderson both should be in.